Hi everybody, so today we're going to do a quick review in the snow comparison of the Polaris 570 Trail Edition as well as the 2021 Honda Foreman 520 no power steering and foot shift. So the differences between these two machines: the Polaris has a bit more power, but it's driven by a belt, and it does not have a locking front diff. The Honda on the other end is direct shaft driven, which means that there's no belts, and it also has a front locker for the diff. So today we'll just show you the comparisons. We're out here in Ontario on a lake, and we've got not that much snow, but enough to maybe give you guys a good idea on how these machines do in the snow. The other comparison here and the difference is that the Polaris has stock tires. So it's got the I'm not quite sure what kind of tires these are, but Carlisle, not quite sure those ones there. But the Honda Foreman, I have upgraded these to the traction rovers. So instead of having 25-inch tires, I have 26. So they're a bit bigger than the Polaris, and the tread in these as well is a bit thicker here, so that might be an advantage. All right, so we'll start with the Honda, and I'll start in two-wheel drive first, and then I'll do a comparison in the four-wheel drive as well. In a bit because there's a crust, but sometimes I fall through into that pizza crust. All right, so let's hop on to the Polaris here. Put it in two-wheel drive, put it in high, just does. So my quick take on those two comparisons for two-wheel drive: Polaris definitely has more power, so I can spin those tires quicker, and it's not limited by the gears. And I feel like maybe the Polaris is a bit lighter, maybe because the Honda has more metal, but they're pretty close. So let's see what four-wheel drive does. definitely an improvement from the two-wheel drive. So let's hop right on to the Polaris. So this one does. Put in four-wheel drive. Here we go. Alright, so for the front lock here, this is the all-wheel drive. I just flick the switch up and it indicates that the front lock is going to activate, and we'll go from there. Alright, so definitely a bit more traction, but I think the Honda actually limits the power it can deliver for the front locking diff, because I could hear a clicking sound whenever I would give it full throttle. So I think it limits the amount of power it shoots at the front, but the front wheels are always spinning, so I got plenty of traction there. Alright, so we're going to do a quick drag race here. My brother's going to be on the Honda and all-wheel drive. I will be in the Polaris all-wheel drive. And let's see who wins. I think the Polaris is going to win with just pure more power, but you never know. So that was a close one. I gave my brother just a bit of a head start, just because he's not as used to that Foreman, but that was pretty close. The Polaris caught up at the end, but it was a very close battle. All right, to conclude, that was pretty fun. We did a comparison of both in two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Both did pretty good. They're not as good as a snowmobile in the snow, but it gives you a good perspective on, you can use a quad in the snow, but you do have to probably put it in all-wheel drive, and it won't be as fast. In terms of comparing both machines, I think they're very similar. I think they're both as capable in the snow. But I think the win goes to the Polaris for me, because of the power it can deliver, and the handling is a bit more predictable on this one. Because this one has dual independent suspension, whereas this one has a solid rear axle with a single suspension. This one kind of just drives and rides and turns more predictably, whereas this one, it might turn around and fishtail a bit better, but you have more chances of tipping over and it's less predictable. In terms of the all-wheel drive systems, they're both excellent. I think that they're both the same. I think you do get an advantage with the front diff lock on the Honda, but it's not that much different, and I think the all-wheel drive system does just fine. So that's my comparison of both in the winter. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any comments or questions, leave it down below, and we'll see you on the next one.